on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. This is the City Council regular meeting. At this time, we'd like to call the meeting to order and ask that you all please rise. We'd like to call up the stake president for the LDS or Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints stake, Robert Vyrock, after which I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And just press that little button so the green light goes on. On the mic. The base. Gotcha. Perfect.
Our dear Father in heaven, we are grateful for this evening, grateful for the opportunity to meet together as a few of thy sons and daughters, grateful for all of those who are assembled here in service of their fellow men. We pray that thy blessings will be upon the men and women assembled here, that thy spirit will be with them, thy inspiration for the decisions before them, that each of us might remember those that we are called to serve, that we might reach out to those in need, that we might follow the wonderful examples that each of us have had in our own lives of selfless service and sacrifice, and that our love and kindness may guide our actions and our decisions. We ask thy blessings upon this council for their sacrifice of time, talents, and means. Pray that they will be blessed for their service, watched over and protected. Their families will also be blessed in their absence. We are grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy, for this wonderful nation that thou hast blessed us with. We pray that we as citizens of this great nation may do our part in protecting and upholding the freedoms that thou hast given us. We love thee, we thank thee, and invite thy guidance and direction on this evening's activities, and do so in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, President. Appreciate it. That'll take us to the roll call.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilwoman Gussie.
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi.
Here.
Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Wade.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chapados.
Here.
Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. I know that Councilmember Smith is visiting family, and so we'd like to excuse her at this moment. Also, that takes us to item 3, proclamations, acknowledgements, and awards. I believe that Fire has a presentation. So, Chief Leffler, would you please come forward?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is the good stuff that we get to do. And one of them is a little delayed, but I've asked my chief staff to come up in honor of there's actually 4 individuals. One is not here. He is on the tender fire and very, very busy. As a matter of fact, he texted me and he was giving O'Halloran a tour, and tomorrow's the governor. So anyway, I would like the following people to come up. Michael Grant, Chaz Dupree, and David Moss. And the 4th one is Brad Patassi. We'll start with David Moss. David was promoted last July of 2017. We're a little behind on that one. Pinning him tonight will be his wife, Rachel. He previously worked for PMT. He has been promoted to engineer. He has an associate's in fire science and a bachelor's in sports and health medicine. And if Rachel would come up. Next, we have Chaz Dupree. He was hired in 2006. His wife, Carrie, will be pinning. She is here. Is she here? Not yet. Okay. Would you like one of these to pin for you? Okay. Well, Assistant Chief John Storm will pin in Carrie's absence. Need some help, John?
Storm, I'm sure that's not as pretty as his wife would have done.
And last but not least, we have Michael Grant. His mom, Irene, and wife, Nancy, were going to pin, but they're not here yet either. So his father-in-law, Terry.
Good time to get back at you.
This is extra special for the fire department. The department has been stagnant for a long time. There has not been any promotions. There has not been any movement. Thanks to the council and the city manager, we were able to create these positions, and it does wonders for the morale of this department. If the council would be so kind as to come down for a picture.
Again, congrats to our fire department. That's something that we've been working really hard on. I know they've been sacrificing for a lot of years and trying to come up with a budget that allows things like that. Seems simple enough, but they are far from simple. And so we, again, appreciate their patience and their help in assisting all that they do for us. That takes and concludes the item number 3, the proclamations, acknowledgements, and awards, and takes us to the report from the mayor at this time. If it seems like this is the 3rd city council meeting in 3 weeks, you would be right. And so it's been a lot of activity as of late. We have been just going this entire spring. And so
this is just kind of a conclusion of that. A lot's been going on, a lot of meetings at MAG, a lot of transportation meetings, but at the same time, had the opportunity to meet with the finalists or candidates for Community Services Director. Some of you were able to be here in attendance for that, and so hope you enjoyed that opportunity, and we thank our candidates for doing that. I know it's never easy to stick your neck out on the line and be out in public, but we appreciate that, as we'll also require that of you once you get hired, so glad you're sticking around for it. The other side to that is I've been spending a lot of time with the state legislators on our state budget. And I bring this up only because at the end of the day, there's very little that the city of Maricopa can do to effectuate state budgets and the things that are going on with the Red for Ed movement and those types of things. My mom was a teacher for 25 years in the Amphi School District. She was a speech pathologist. At one point, my father, my brother, and myself were all in college while she was trying to keep us afloat off a very low salary. So I certainly understand both sides of this argument and both sides of the debate. But I just wanted the people to know that we are doing our job and our best to influence where we can influence. Again, it doesn't fall within our purview and jurisdiction to make those decisions. That's at the state level, and then we have an elected school board who manages the dollars that are given to them by the state, and they make those decisions with the educators. So again, we're doing our best to play intermediary, winning where we can without maybe sticking our heads too far into the dragon's mouth and getting it chopped off. But certainly we're also doing some wrangling at this time to protect our partners, and we'll talk about that here in a future date. But just let it be known at this time that we are working with our legislators to protect the city of Maricopa, MUSD, and just in general our partners here to protect us from the state budget sweeps that inevitably happen when the horse trading begins for budget season. So again, I think that they will probably go sine die, which is the conclusion of the session, probably this Thursday. I mean, assuming that they get that far. I mean, it could be later, it could be earlier, but that is the target date. So we always joke that it's better when the legislature is not in session, because then they can stop hurting us. So the faster they can get there, the better it is for the rest of us. With that concludes the report from the mayor at this time, and we'll move to the report from the city manager.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I want to thank the council and all the staff and the directors for the last few weeks. It feels like we've been doing a lot of interviewing, a lot of meeting, not only for city manager, but community services manager, and then we've also had the budget and finance and operations meeting last week. So I appreciate all the time and effort that's gone into that. I would also like to let the community know that our next meeting, May the 15th, we are going to be adopting the tentative budget. And if they would like to have any input on the budget, that's the time when they should come forward and attend the meeting. So I just encourage them to do that. And that's it.
Thank you, City Manager Sorensen. We appreciate it. That concludes item 5. We'll take us to item 6, which is the call to the public. I do have 2 speaker cards at this time. I'll just go down those 2 in the order that they were given to me. The first one I have is Glenn Morrison. Glenn, if you'd like to come up and address the council, you'll have about 3 minutes. And then the next one on deck is Dan Miller. So just FYI.
Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Chapados, City Council, and everybody. Thank you for a couple of minutes of your time. I appreciate it. I'm here to talk about a couple of things that are not necessarily comfortable. Most of you know me as a candidate for constable. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some memorials. And unfortunately, it's a fact of life that we lose people, and unfortunately, we lose heroes. And we lose heroes at, unfortunately, a very high rate. Over the course of the last couple of weeks, we've lost 7 police officers nationwide. Any of you who follow that sort of thing, you'll understand that that hits hard, especially for those of us who are members of law enforcement. I'd like to salute the City of Maricopa and Chief Stahl. We do have a new fallen officer memorial that's coming here to the city. It's going to be dedicated on May 14th. But a little bit closer into that is something I'd like to encourage everyone to attend as well. Not just that dedication for fallen officers, but each and every year at the Sheriff's Office main station out in Florence at 971 Jason Lopez Circle, we hold a memorial service for fallen officers, and it's the Pinal County Fallen Officers Memorial. That's happening this Thursday evening, 7 p.m. The public is welcome and encouraged to show up. There's plenty of seating, there's plenty of parking. It is a very solemn, very touching memorial to officers that have fallen not only in Pinal County but around the state. Yeah, and it's a very beautiful service. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because, you know, we're over here on the other side of the county from Florence. Not everybody really knows about it, but I wanted to take an opportunity, mention it to everybody. Please come down. We would love to have your support. And it's not every day I could end a Class A uniform. So please come out, 7 p.m. Thursday. We'd appreciate seeing you there and having your support. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Next up is Dan Miller.
Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Chapados, City Council members, distinguished guests, and residents of Maricopa. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. If you don't know me, my name is Dan Miller. I don't know how that could happen. And like the many in the room, I wear a lot of hats. We play many roles toward improving and sustaining this great community where we live, work, and play, don't we? The role I'd like to talk about this evening is my privileged duty as the President and CEO of the Maricopa Ak-Chin STEAM Foundation. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. You may have heard of its older sibling, STEM. STEAM adds art in all the right places to help take the geekism out of math, engineering, and science. The Maricopa economic engine is fueled by our dreams and our aspirations. Our future and sustainability depend on our youth to take over when we decide to hand over the reins. For them to be ready, they need STEAM. The Maricopa Ak-Chin STEAM Foundation is in a unique position helping to build a bridge between what skills successful businesses need and what our educators are able to provide in their limited time with our community's children. The STEAM Foundation strives to understand business needs and develop programs that our educators can integrate into their lesson plans where STEAM can take root and blossom into solid foundational understanding of how the world works around us. Also, I need to update the council on two STEAM initiatives, STEAM Day and the Rocket Challenge. The Maricopa Ak-Chin STEAM Foundation had intended to present Rocket Challenge Awards this evening during the City Council meeting, but it's been delayed until a time when Councilmember Smith, a big supporter of the Rocket Challenge, is available to attend the ceremony. Also, we had originally planned on a STEAM Day at Maricopa High School this Saturday, a day where we showcase active programs in our schools and colleges, businesses who rely on STEAM skills, and STEAM resources. Given recent events in Arizona education, it was decided to postpone this Saturday's event and hold a more intense STEAM week the first week of November. Monday, November 5th to Friday, November 9th. So write that down. This is the same week as National STEAM Day, which is Thursday, November 8th. Each day of the week will focus on a different facet of STEAM. Monday is Science Day, Tuesday is Technology Day, etc. We hold each day's festivities at a different venue. Not only can a week of STEAM be overwhelming for one host site, but it gives Maricopa a chance to highlight that all that the community has to offer relating to STEAM. In the coming weeks, there will be a more formal announcement, and the STEAM Foundation will ask the city to consider hosting one of the STEAM days, Technology Tuesday, perhaps, here at City Hall or maybe out at Copper Sky. We'll also be looking for facet champions as well. Maybe Vice Mayor Chapados would like to help raise the bar on Thursday's Art Day, just as an example. I'm not putting you on the spot. Finally, as the mayor, city council, and staff applaud a course for Maricopa's successful future, remember that the fuel that powers the economic engine is in the minds of our youth. Sharp, STEAM-powered minds. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right.
Anyone else like to come forward and address the council at this time? Seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public this time and move to item 7. Council, can I have a motion to approve item 7.1 and 7.2, which are the minutes from last week's meeting? Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any further discussions on these minutes? Seeing none?
Aye.
Aye. Any time? So that item 9, which is the consent agenda, 10, and item 10.1 specifically is the mayor and city council shall hear a presentation on the Maricopa Fire and Medical Department's battalion safety officer positions. This is for discussion only. Chief Leffler.
Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Chapados, and Council, it is my pleasure to give you an update on the Battalion Safety Officer program that you so graciously provided for us. I know you've heard me many, many times about the benefits of this program, and this is an opportunity for you to see kind of what we've done with it and maybe where it will go. So with that, I'll introduce Assistant Chief Bobby Miller. He is our operations chief and in charge of this program.
Thank you, Chief, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. I have just a few slides to give you an update. Again, like Chief Leffler said, we are incredibly thankful for your support and the community's support in making our organization as safe as it possibly can. Probably the biggest fear of a fire chief and the staff is a line of duty death. We really believe this can make an impact in preventing that tragic event that is probably the most devastating thing that an organization can go through. We recognize that there's three major threats that we have to our responders. That's cardiac-related episodes, that we have our members that are dedicated to a healthy lifestyle, that are dedicated to fitness. We have the best equipment, we have fitness trainers, and we do everything we can. We also know that breathing products of combustion can sometimes cause cardiac-related episodes. The number two threat to our people who are responding to and from and operating on roadways. We have training for that. We also know that a battalion safety officer can keep their eyes on that when they're on the scene of a multi-vehicle accident or loading patients in the back of an ambulance, and training while responding code 3 lights and siren with our apparatus. And the third threat to our members is being in offensive positions under defensive conditions. That's buildings that are on fire. We know that the incident commander can get caught up with the strategic and tactical and may not look at the overview hazard of that building. Now we have a battalion safety officer on foot, 360 around the building to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it's that support that you give us that keeps us safer. To give you an idea really what a BSO is, or a battalion safety officer, they work directly with the battalion chief hand in hand. It's a partnership. It's a captain level position. We have one assigned to each shift, A shift, B shift, and C shift. They can be a paramedic or an EMT. They don't use a lot of those medical skills other than in mass casualty incidents that we may experience. We are involving them in specialized training with all risk hazards that we encompass, which the slide will show, and they assist with the administrative duties throughout the shift. So in the slide you can see we have a safety officer that is not caught up in the task level, and then in the lower right you can see what they look like on the emergency scene. They're actually designated by green safety helmets, and this is a regional approach. So if we have people coming from automatic or mutual aid, we know looking out there where these people should be and what they should be doing. Very consistent. Why have BSOs? BSOs are an NFPA requirement. I know you're all familiar with the National Fire Protection Association. They pretty much designate everything that we do fire medical, from the type of apparatus that we have, from the type of ladders, the gear that we wear, and designated battalion safety officers. It's also a newer requirement to be dispatched in the Phoenix Automatic Aid. They expect us to have the battalion safety officers when we go to training, when we respond to incidents. They bring that, and that's just kind of the level of play that we're dealing with. They assist in the daily staffing of our response units. If the BCs, the battalion chief's on a call, the battalion safety officer can break off and make sure that the next staff is up and current, make sure we don't have any shortcomings with our staffing. They fill in for the battalion chief, they step up for consistency of supervision, and they serve as the training officer. So they were evaluated with their presentation skills, their dedication to training. There was a process. This wasn't a seniority thing. They had to compete for this. And we had many members show interest in this. They are also trained in all hazard emergency. A lot of people think that what we do is go on fires, and it's probably the least thing, thank goodness, that we do. 85% is what we do is medical in nature. And we also as that battalion chief's responding to major incidents, there's a lot going on inside the cab of that battalion vehicle. The mobile computer terminal is lighting up, telling you who's responding to that. The radio, they have to answer the radio. And we've already know that now that we've had them in there for months, the battalion chief is at an advantage once he or she arrives on the scene. The battalion safety officer becomes the eyes and ears of incident command. Like I told you, they go forward, they get a 360 of the hazard, whether it's a hazardous materials incident, whether it's a trench rescue, whether it's a swift water rescue, and then they help with PD involved incidents. They manage the risk management plan. I have a slide of that. They challenge the strategy throughout the incident. And those active shooters, hostile intruder events that we work with PD, they're that communication liaison in a unified command location. And we practice and drill with this kind of thing. Their mantra that they live and they tattoo on their brain is our risk management model. And we follow this, that we will risk a lot to save savable lives. We'll risk a little to save property. But we have to recognize that we cannot risk ourselves for lives and property that are already lost. And that's where a battalion safety officer can step in when we get entrenched in an incident and realize that we are clearly out of our risk management model. One of the things that sets them apart from other people on the emergency scene is the authority that they carry. They have the authority to alter any current actions given by the incident commander. They can suspend actions. They can terminate actions. So for example, the slide up on the right-hand side, if the incident commander said, well, let's put a ladder company up on the roof, let's ventilate the heat and toxic gas, the battalion safety officer can alter that. Say, no, let's hold off. I think we have fire. It's unsafe. It's unstable. Or he or she has the power to say, that's a bad assignment. I would like you to reconsider that. And that's really kind of unheard of to an incident commander, but what a great person to bounce that off, that we never had that before. So basically, it's the most powerful position on the emergency incident. And that's the update. Again, we are so thankful to have these positions. We're already getting comments from the captains on some incidents that we've had. We've had a significant incident at McDonald's. We've had 2 significant incidents with garage fires and residential fires, and having that battalion safety officer, eyes and ears challenging the strategy. We've got total buy-in of the organization. Very, very appreciative of this. Are there any questions?
Questions, council? Nope.
Again, thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Thank you for the presentation, Bobby. That'll take us to item 10.2. The mayor and council shall discuss and possibly take action to approve an amendment to the 2017 through 2019 Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, with the Maricopa Officers Council, or Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 78. This is for discussion and action. Kathleen.
Mayor and council, the city completed the classification and compensation study back in November of 2017, several months after the City and Police Officers Union had completed their MOU negotiations. The Fraternal Order of Police was given the opportunity to reopen the MOU for the sole purpose of discussing the impact of the class and comp study on the salary range for police officer. The City of Maricopa management team met with the local FOP for officers beginning in February through April to negotiate an amendment to the current 2-year agreement, which is reflective of the findings from the class and comp study, including an adjustment to the salary range and an addition of a tuition reimbursement program. We are here today to submit to council this amendment to the MOU. Any questions?
Council, any questions to the amendment? I know we've been over this a bit. Seeing none, can I have a motion on this item, please?
So move.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. That takes us to item 10.3. Kathleen, you're not going anywhere because, as you know, you're on the next one. So we're going to take action to approve the amendment to the 2017-2019 Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, with the Maricopa Sergeants Council, also Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 78. This is for discussion and action.
So Mayor and council, once again, we met with the Fraternal Order of Police for the sergeants, and in the same manner, we met with them, and the management team with them to negotiate an amendment for the current 2-year agreement, which is reflective of the findings of the class and comp study, which also includes an adjustment to the sergeant salary range and the addition of a tuition reimbursement program. We're here today to submit to council this amendment to their MOU.
Again, any questions, council? Again, I know you've been over this extensively through the budgetary process and through a variety of discussions, so seeing nothing there, can I have a motion, please? There's a motion, is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Well, you guys lucked out tonight with having 3 meetings, and so now we've shoved it all through and we're done, and there's not possibly anything else to do, is there, City Manager Sorensen? I didn't think so. Except, council, you're not done because we get to go to E-session. So with that, can I have a motion to move to E-session, please? So moved. Motion, is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We will see you guys in 2 weeks next time. Thank you.